All right, we're hopping right into it today. What's going on, everybody? No, it's been a long time no see. Haven't seen you guys in forever.
I know, it's been a minute.
Been a very long time.
We have a very exciting, very suspenseful. I've waited my entire life for this card coming up this weekend in UFC Vegas 69. This is supposed to be the card that Cheeto Vera versus Corey Sandhagen was supposed to happen, which would have made this card a lot better. So you can kind of tell why it's a little bit of a not great card. UFC Vegas 69 is happening this weekend. It's going to happen on February 18th from the UFC Apex, and it is going to be main evented by Jessica Andrade versus Erin Blanchfield, women's flyweight division, 5 rounds. Probably a number one contender fight for the flyweight title, I would imagine so. If Blanchfield wins, it's definitely a number one contender fight. If Andrade wins, it's not, right?
Yeah.
So I think that this fight is not a bad main event. I personally don't think it's a bad main event because I can appreciate that Erin Blanchfield 23 is going to be like a headliner, which is pretty crazy.
I don't mind it at all, honestly.
I want to say, I could be wrong here, but I think she's the youngest person to headline a card in a very long time. Like, Jon Jones is the youngest champ ever at 23 years old. So he headlined when he was 23, probably even 22. I think probably just 23, though. But I'm trying to think if there's been anybody that young headlining another one.
Oh, no. No.
That sounds right to me.
I think you're pretty spot on with that. I don't think there's been... All the champs, like last year, the champs were all older. They were in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they all lost to younger
I
opponents.
saw a stat today that said no champ in the UFC got their belt before the age of 27, like currently in the UFC. And by that time, Jon Jones already had 7 title defenses.
I saw that stat
Wow.
too. Yes.
Which is
7.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was different times, though. Like, Jon Jones got his belt and defended it 4 times a year kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was just way different. But, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I think she is the youngest person to headline a card, maybe since Jones. I know that's crazy to say because that was like 2010. Can't think of any on the spot. I'd have to go back and look at that. So UFC Vegas 69 is happening, and we are going to make our picks. We're going to go over the sports bet, sports book, and we're going to see if there's anything kind of interesting. Back to the picks for last week. Let me throw this on the screen before I do that.
That's a 5-round fight as well, I believe, right?
Blanchfield Andrade. It is Blanchfield's first 5-round fight. Andrade's obviously had many. Andrade, one of the biggest veterans in the UFC for women, honestly. We did all very well on our locks this week, except for me. I did pretty bad on my locks.
I was going to say, I thought I got 4 for 4, no? Or was I 3 for 4?
You were 3 for 4.
I lose Pedro.
Tyson Pedro.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
The only Aussie on the card,
You know
pretty
what's
much.
crazy is
Besides the one more
Tyson
lose.
Pedro lost to a guy from England on a week and a half notice. The guy had to travel from England to Australia on a week and a half notice and kicked the shit out of Pedro. Like, it wasn't even close, really.
I didn't really see the
Pedro
fight,
looked gassed the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
but that's definitely somebody to look out
Modestus
for.
Bukauskas. I mean, he's been in the UFC for a little bit. He's had a pretty good career, but like, that's a super impressive performance. So light heavyweight rankings, I would not be completely shocked if like he won one more fight and got thrown on there, because that's a super impressive fight. And Dana loves that shit. Dana loves people that can just get like a short notice fight, win, and especially like you can
And
just
then fight
appreciate the
again.
travel.
Perform in a crowd like that too,
Yeah.
and not like that's not
Enemy
like,
territory.
that's a really big W.
Mm-hmm. So, I was 1-2-1 in my picks. Austin was 3-1. Steve, you were 3-1. Dylan was 3-1, and Colby was 3-0-1.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys all did actually really good on your
Yeah.
fucking picks. And shout out to Dylan and Colby, their first time making picks, and they actually did pretty well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Sean, you got some heavy shoes to fill here.
I
Just
know,
so you
I
know,
guess
pressure's
so.
on. But today is all about UFC Vegas 69, and we're gonna get into it as soon as Austin gets down here. So,
Mr. Garth.
before we get into that, now that we have a little bit of time to fill, The Ali Abdelaziz drama is what happened. First of all, Twitter's suspended again, so for everybody tuning in, we will be back up at complete_MMA for the card. It'll probably take about a week to get re-verified. Unfortunately, this shit keeps happening, and it'll just take a week, and we'll be back. So thank you for your patience. Make sure you go check us out on our community, MMA Complete Accumulation, where me and Austin will be moderating it from our own personal accounts. So the show will go on. Just going to take a little bit. And while talking about Twitter, I am going to bring up Ali's tweets. Because from what I gather, and Ariel Awani was the one that responded to it. I don't know if they have a picture here. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. So this is the picture. I don't know if you guys can see this that well. This is what Ali said. For all these idiots out there, any fighter under the UFC banner can take 2 to 3 liters of IV as long as it's done by a nurse or a professional. Next week, I'm going to expose everybody. Islam Makhachev is the pound-for-pound king. He then deleted the tweet about an hour later, or maybe less than an hour. Someone quote tweeted it saying, Ariel, do you have any thoughts on why he deleted this? And Ariel said, yes, he deleted it because someone, I would think, told him he was incriminating himself. You can't take 2 to 3 liters by a professional or not. It's 100 milliliters per 12 hours. Massive difference. So, and this all coming after UFC 284 last weekend. And right after the show, Dan Hooker came out and said that Islam was using IVs, and Alex Volkanovski talked about it. And we hadn't heard anything for like a couple days, and then Ali puts this out. I don't see how this isn't incriminating to the point of like you have to do some kind of investigation now. Like you have to. I don't know what the reprimand or the consequence could be, but I don't. If he's found guilty of doing this, 2 to 3 liters. What? How many milliliters are in a liter? First of all,
So every liter is about a pound of fluid to the body.
Okay.
Or two. No, I'm not even that. It's 2.2 or a kilo. So 2.2 pounds for every liter of water that's administered.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he knew that. He knew that.
So there is 1,000 milliliters in a liter, which means that Ali is saying,
and you
can take 2,000 to 3,000 milliliters of IV. And Ariel is saying you can take 100 milliliters per 12 hours.
He's saying that he can administer 6 pounds of water, basically, into Islam's body before the fight.
Right.
Which is completely wrong. That's saying that he can probably...
And he's saying, like, you could put a tenth of a pound.
Yeah, that's maybe, like, a tenth of a pound every 12 hours.
So, I mean...
100 mLs per every... Dude, that's like this much water every 12 hours.
Right.
Compared to 6 of these, or no, 12 almost.
Yeah.
You know, like that. No, 6. Yeah, but that's crazy.
That's basically a fucking cheat code of like I'm just gonna rehydrate myself like that.
That's nuts.
And I mean, there's a great segment on JRE from Jorge Masvidal talking about the difference that IVs made for him, because he was one of those guys that used IVs way back in the day, and then when that stopped, he could no longer make the lightweight cut because he used to fight a lightweight. So now he has to go to welterweight. There's a 15-pound gap. You know what I mean? I
mean, well, you got to picture, like, they're dehydrating themselves to basically, like, nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So picture yourself on your sickest day when you are vomiting. You can't get anything down. You're in bed. You're like, That's how they feel. That's how Islam was feeling before the fight, right? He's 185. He's 185. He's 185, cutting back to 155.
Mm-hmm.
And then that IV would make such a big difference.
100%.
Oh, and
that's why they made the rule.
You know? So
that's why they made the rule to not do him.
You know, if he's saying that, it's like, all right. Now I think a suspension might even be kind of like warranted, because
think about this too. So from the time, if you're a main event fight in last week's card, when you're fighting at 12 o'clock p.m., you have basically 36 hours to rehydrate yourself. Okay.
Which is plenty of time to pound water for them. They're big guys.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the. I feel like and again, I don't know all this shit. I'm not a medical professional. I've never cut weight for a UFC fight. I'm not in talks with any trainers.
That would be awesome.
Shit.
That you should.
So like, if you have 36 hours, I feel like you can down waters more than IVs. I know that sounds stupid to a layman because I'm sure IVs help your body progress the water better or whatever. But like,
could you get the 155? I'm sorry to cut you off.
I think it's
dude, I can barely get to 200.
But it speaks to how bad he was feeling during the weight
Like,
cut. You saw him crying during the weight cut. He was not feeling good, man.
And he does that for every weight cut. And there was
time and time again.
There was shit about him barely making the Oliveira weight cut. Remember how he was like,
they did a quick scale at this one. There was like a little controversy going on.
It was like a day before in the last conspiracy for UFC 280 when he fought
came out with the
Charles Oliveira.
Wall around him.
He was like 8 pounds overweight the day of the fucking weigh-ins. And everybody was freaking out. He barely made it. And he was like 10 hobbling to the fucking scale.
Oh my god.
The fact that they're able to cut 8 pounds within 12 hours is like, absurd. It doesn't even make sense to me that
that's
they would
just
be able to
you're
do
on
that.
a bike in a sauna cranked to 200 degrees.
Yeah.
For 8 hours.
So how are you gonna replenish the gas tank to be able to fight for 25 minutes after that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's what you mean. The next day is just for rehydrating himself, which is why IVs
would really
illegal.
help if he's not feeling
so
good.
So listen to the difference.
Well, this is why they shouldn't. This is why no one does it, because you can't.
Right.
So
listen to this.
Do it.
If what Ali's saying is right, and he said 2 to 3 liters, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and call it 2 liters flat. Okay. Yeah. That's saying that in the 36 hours between the weigh-ins and the fight, Islam Makhachev had 2,000 milliliters into his body. Whereas if you do this for what Ariel Helwani is saying, which I think Ariel Helwani has a pretty good grasp of the UFC rules. He's been reporting on them for fucking 10 years. You are only allowed to put 300 milliliters of water in your body. And that is if you do it per hour the right way. So 100 milliliters per 12 hours for 36 hours.
Basically, he had a 4-pound sheet advantage is what it sounds like. You know what I mean? He's able to get the IV, even if he's not drinking, he can sit there. And then as soon as he's feeling better, he's pounding on top of it. As he's getting IV.
There's double water.
It is, but that would explain it, you know?
Think about
guy
this.
Goes in weighing 200 at 155.
If he
looks big, man.
It seemed like he was getting gassed in the 5th round.
I'm not saying 200. Oh, he got gassed.
He definitely did.
And so if he wasn't able to hydrate
there was a lot of like, he tried to do a lot of wrestling. He was clinching. He couldn't get a hold of Volk. He
didn't even try for a submission in the 3rd round when he got his back. You know what I mean?
In the 5th round, he got dropped because he was so gassed.
And so he was even gassed.
How much more gassed
after he got dropped?
So how much more gassed is he if he's not able to hydrate that
2 to 3 liters? I'm sure it would be a
big
significant
difference.
amount.
Khabib,
It would be a significant amount.
I bet you Khabib's
and
done
that's
it.
the thing. If Makhachev's found guilty of doing this,
Khabib's
how much did Khabib do it?
I will ride that till I die.
Because Khabib seems to be bigger than Makhachev. Like when his fighting days,
you nailed it.
If Makhachev is coming into the octagon at 180, 185, Khabib's coming in at 190.
Khabib was coming in at 190. And that's what he said he came in at 190. So,
which is bonkers to think about, right?
That is terrible.
If you weigh 155 and you put on 35 pounds of muscle
in a day,
that's absurd.
It's dedication. Right?
It's
fucking dedication right there.
It doesn't even make sense. It's like
it really doesn't.
Well,
like,
how do you
even
happen?
do that?
But yeah,
you're like eating steak and water as soon as you step off that scale for 36 hours.
You're carbing up. You're just carbing up.
Whoa.
Drinking water.
Pastas.
You have to be.
That's a TikTok right there. That's a TikTok. That's fucking clip.
That's Charles Barkley right there.
Carbing up.
Dude, it's so crazy.
That's 35 pounds.
So like, okay. Say the UFC finds
even 36 hours.
Say that the UFC finds that Makhachev IV'd 2,000 milliliters of water into his body, and you can only do 100 per 12 hours.
That's it.
What should be the punishment?
Prison. Death penalty.
Firing squad. Do it the Russian way. Do it the Russian way.
Done.
Yeah.
Bricks thrown.
Stoned.
Ever seen
Have
Game
get
of Thrones?
stoned by all the other UFC
Have you ever
fights.
seen? Hang on. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah, I have.
Remember when she has to walk through the town?
Oh yeah,
That's
when
what he
she's-
has to do.
when she's burning it to the ground.
No, yeah, and they're like, no.
Oh, when they're throwing stones. Yeah. I remember that part. That's early on.
I don't know what the fucking punishment should be, man. I'm struggling. We talked about it briefly of like, should he get stripped? And a lot of people would get mad.
absolutely.
But like, I think that
Give it a
that's what you
vote.
should do.
Give it a vote.
The thing, at first I'm like, oh, I don't know, but after talking about it through and seeing the tweet and
Strip
like
'em.
really
Realizing
thinking about
the
it,
difference.
yeah, like this is like
Ali Abdelaziz might have
Beneil
just fucked his fighter, by the way.
Beneil-
If he didn't put that tweet out,
none
maybe
of this
nothing
would even
would
be a
happen.
conversation.
Beneil Oliveira.
For the title.
For the
I
title,
know.
bro.
I
Beneil
know.
Dariush,
That's what
champion?
makes this interesting.
What is going on?
That fight happens in May. If this isn't sorted out,
Beneil Dariush, the
I'd
lightweight
love
champion.
to see what Dana White has to say about this because you know that in whatever press conference that he has next, he's gonna get asked about this.
yeah,
Like,
he'll
this
just be
isn't-
like, "Oh, we're real happy about
I think
Power
the-
Slap. It's happening this Thursday at 8:00. Make sure you guys."
Dude, I think
Yeah, I
Dariush.
hope
I think
not.
Dariush
I
beats
really
Oliveira.
hope not.
I really do.
Yeah, I can't wait for that fight.
I
I've been
really do.
trying
I
to
think
replay it in
Dariush.
my
I think
head.
Dariush just knocks him out.
I
Or
mean,
hurts
you
him, and
know-
he goes on his back, and then Dariush just finishes him. That's what I think, personally.
Now seeing Makhachev striking, does his win over Oliveira, does
No.
Oliveira's loss to Makhachev mean a little bit less? Because we saw the Makhachev can strike, like he knocked down Oliveira, and everybody was like, "Oh my god,
Vaulted
Oliveira's
on the
game is
ground compared
terrible."
to
The problem is that Oliveira is always going to be at a disadvantage when it comes to this shit, and he's cutting weight just as hard as Islam is,
He's a
and he's
tall
having a
man. He's-
tough
yeah.
time
He's the
too.
same
So
height
is
as you.
Darush.
So there,
So is Darush. Darush is a big boy.
yeah.
I feel like if Makhachev's
Big boy.
185, if Makhachev's 185 walking into the octagon, Darush has to be at least 180, if not 185.
No,
He's a
probably
big dude.
185,
He is
so,
big.
Yeah, he is big dude.
Oliveira kind of skinny, no?
He is, yeah. He's one of the fighters I don't get because
175?
he doesn't look like he should be that much, but you hear a lot of stories about how he fucks up with his weight, and he missed weight, and none of these other guys have.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's just weird. It's like it has to do with genetics, probably, and like body type, and
I guess
How
so,
you're
yeah.
eating and what you're doing and how
Nutritionist.
I
Like,
really
know
don't
if
know.
Oliveira has
It's
the
way
right
above my.
nutritionist.
like.
He used
but,
to fight at featherweight.
but
He used to fight at 145.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like, how is he put on the muscle? Like, is it different than all the
he
other
looked
people?
like
you know?
a skeleton
Yes.
at 145 though. Like I don't know how.
Hey, Connor didn't look good at one. What was he?
No, Connor looked so bad at 145, but he did it. Never missed weight.
He had a
I
good
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy.
It's
They
all
just
about the
eating
team that you put
berries
around
and
you.
It really
strawberries
is.
in the back room after.
Right.
I don't even know. Like, it's crazy. It's fucking.
You're eating boiled chicken every day. Just
Yeah,
no
you're eating like
flavor.
half a piece of boiled chicken every day,
Yeah.
and you're drinking like a bottle of water and a half a day for like a good 2-3
Which is
weeks.
absolutely horrible. That must just
While
not
doing
feel good.
cardio
That just
all
must
day,
feel
er
terrible.
day.
You're sweating like crazy. You're
Ugh.
dying. Like, dude.
and it
no.
makes
I don't
it makes
know.
like. Let me ask you guys this:
I just go full soccer games, not even drink.
Yeah, but that's not a
Full
full
soccer
soccer camp
games,
for 6
yeah, but-
weeks.
Full running, like in the middle of like the whole soccer game, not take one drink, and it's like not
and
even.
it's fucking brutal,
and
right?
it's not, yeah, and like I'm
Not
thirsty, but I honestly I fucking forget.
Right.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I just forget. Like I'm so
like,
hyped up over the
dude,
game.
Does cutting down to these weights really make that much fucking difference? You know what I mean? If these UFC fighters were just like, all right,
You think they eat oranges? A lot of oranges. Remember Jared Cadillo? You just mow on these oranges, bro.
no.
Oh, he used to do it all the time in football and soccer.
He was that-
mowing on
he was that-
fucking oranges.
He was
dude.
that one soccer kid that his
Dimitri,
mom always brought orange
Jared,
slices to the
oh
games.
yeah, Fran was.
Yep.
Fran always
Fran
brought
was
it.
the shit. Okay.
And then yeah, dude, I bet you they eat a lot of oranges.
So,
or
like-
clementine, same thing.
For this to happen,
Well, clementine.
do you guys remember the Paulo Costa fiasco? That like he was supposed to make 185, then it was 195, then it was 200, and Dana was like, all right, he's never fighting at 185 again. Can we say like, you know, at a certain point to some of these guys, and I don't just mean Makhachev, there's plenty of other fighters that do it. Fuck knows TJ Dillashaw was terrible for this when he cut down to 135. He walks around at like 170 and cuts down to 135, which body percentage wise, it's like 15% of his body gets cut, which is a ridiculous stat. But like, do you think that should come a point when, I don't know if an athletic state commission would say it, I don't know if Dana would say it, I don't know if anyone can say it, but just to, speculate, that they'd be like, you can't cut down to that weight anymore. Like, you got to be at this weight.
Anybody?
So I'm gonna say no, and here's
I don't
why. There are plenty of people in the UFC who have the algorithm figured out. Like, look at Paddy Pimblett. Look at Paddy.
Yeah,
He
Patty.
gets up to like 205.
Patty also does it kind of smart in the fact that he never has less than like a month and a half camp. Like, never has less than a 6-week
but they
camp.
had a month and a half camp, didn't they? Volkan Islam.
Oh, arguably they had longer than that because they both fought 155 in October and they knew this fight was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Like, there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
It's figured out. It's just that, I don't think it's the same for every fighter and how they prepare is differently.
But there's definitely some fighters that just don't belong at the weight class they're fighting at.
I think he's one of them.
Paulo Costa is the best example.
Yeah.
Paulo Costa should not be fighting 185.
Right.
Yeah.
Kamaev is another decent example. Fucking missed weight by 8 pounds.
Yeah, but
He should
Paulo
be a middleweight.
Costa's got the method down pat.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he
done
was
it a
with
bunch of
Patty,
times.
and he looked really cut when he fought what's his face, the older
Vittori.
guy. Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate, but I mean, there's no way you can really police it. There really isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck it. If you can do it, you can do it. But when this shit comes out, I don't know. I would love to see if Volkanovski would have beat the fuck out of Makhachev if he didn't hydrate like this.
I really would have liked to see a 6 pound less Makhachev in the fight. That would have been very interesting.
I think that Volkanovski might have a lot to say about this issue now.
Dan Hooker.
How the hell did he
getting,
figure it out? Who did
give-
Dan Hooker?
Dan Hooker, fucking FBI agent.
You
Yeah.
had a
UFC.
really great point on this yesterday. I don't know if it was during the pod or beforehand, but you were like, because Dan Hooker claims that he had talked to some medical professional that had said
Yeah.
that she's the one that did it, and you're like,
Well, Chael Sonnen and I saw his, he has the Bad Guy podcast,
Yep.
and he talked about it. In America, if, it was a nurse to come out publicly in America and say, oh, I was the one, I, administered the IV. Well, they're getting their licenses revoked immediately because
Right,
it's patient
patient
confidentiality
Yeah.
at that point. You're doing a medical, procedure, and you're administering fluids to a dehydrated person, right?
you can't go around and be like, oh yeah, I gave this
it's not
procedure to them.
public knowledge in
Yeah.
America to just be
Very
blown out
interesting.
everywhere. In Australia, I don't think it's the same.
I wonder if the
What's it like?
Dagestanis held an Aussie nurse like, you have to do this, and then and then like, oh no,
Yeah,
this is
it's
what
a
you're
good
gonna
point.
do.
There's different regulations.
What if there was like paper set aside?
Who says that they haven't
I
been
don't
doing that all along?
Oh,
Like you said,
as
Russians
soon as this-
cheat, bro.
as soon as this
Russians
comes out,
cheat.
that's what everybody's thinking. Like, how many fucking times?
how many
Russians
people have they been
fucking
blackmailing to be able to keep doing
And it
this?
doesn't
keep
stop
it on
at
the down
Makhachev.
low?
We've talked about Khabib, but now we're talking about Zabit and Kalaev. We're talking about all these fucking guys, and not only just that, we shouldn't limit it to the Dagestanis. If this is what happened, and the UFC's obviously not checking for this shit, like how many people in America have done it? In England, in Ireland, you know what I mean?
Now
if
it's almost
Makhachev
like
can get away with it,
McGregor.
they have to have somebody
McGregor,
24/7 or
Mm.
after the 36 hours watching
Jon
them,
Jones.
right? You have to have
Francis
somebody.
Ngannou,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone.
you know what I mean?
Those are probably the one.
All
Those
those
are probably
heavyweights.
the only like heavyweights. Probably they don't really need to cut weight.
And there's
I don't
plenty of
think
ways
so.
to hide it too. They can put IVs in your hands,
gotta
and they
not
wear
eat.
gloves, so you
Yeah.
can't see any IV mark on their arms.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
plenty of ways to hit veins and shit.
Right.
But and it's
Do it
kinda
in your
sneaky.
thigh. If you do it in your thigh, your short's covered anyway. No
In
one's
the
gonna see it.
buttocks.
right in your
Right in the
foot,
buttocks.
right in your
buttocks.
ass, right in your foot. What about your foot? A lot of
Yeah.
them wear socks.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Oh,
Yo, maybe because they had a bad weight cut, they're wearing socks.
That would explain so much.
That would
Speculation.
explain
but
so much speculation. No
it's an interesting
capitulation.
take, but
Speculation, no capitulation.
I think there's gonna be a lot of
are onto
questions,
something.
and because this had so much on the line, it's gonna blow it up now,
Mhm.
right? It was a pound for pound king fight, and you tied them.
Dana White is coming for that ass, bro.
He better
He's
be.
coming.
Yeah, the
For
Illuminati
that
better
ass.
knock down this door now.
He
Thank
Islam.
God.
better be.
He's gonna go Islam. You know what?
You're done.
You're never fighting the UFC ever again. Go to PFL. Go to PFL and fight Jake
Where
Paul.
he mollywops everyone in. He first round submits every single person he comes up against.
He wanted to be #1 fighter in the world.
And
but
he's not even. Oh,
I
that's
don't
so
even.
funny.
I don't even.
Maybe
think
that's why they didn't put
Michael
him number
Chandler
one.
goes back.
Maybe that's why they didn't put him number one because
they
they
thought
knew
about
this
the speculation.
shenaniganery was
Yeah.
happening.
Couldn't even put him at number one. Didn't even have the.
Can you put a
gall.
cheater?
Is
at
this
number
why
one?
Dana White was not even saying his name?
I mean, it happened afterwards, but
I
maybe.
know, but does
maybe-
Dana White
maybe he
have a
knew
little
about it.
inside information?
Maybe he
Like,
knew about
wow,
it.
he's like, a lot of fighters have been doing this, and I finally caught a champion that's doing it, and I'm gonna.
Now
I'm gonna-
there's finally physical evidence. It's
Yeah.
finally for real. I can.
Well, I
finally
think if there
put
was
a
physical,
finger on
I
it.
don't know if
happened.
there is physical evidence.
Do they
Because I
change
think if
the
there was
rules?
physical evidence, this shit would have.
Well,
What
that's,
if they-
that's
what if they
evidence
come out-
right there.
what if
That's
they
enough
come
to
out and
change the
investigate.
rule?
Mhm.
And say that you can.
I think they.
That would
fucking
be
should.
pissed.
I think they fucking should.
I think they should
anyway.
too. I
What
think
do
they
they
should.
But
have
I'm
too.
also of the
Yeah.
opinion that you should be able to get UFC people should be able to do fucking steroids. Like I
No.
I
you're
do.
taking it too far.
I do. Because listen,
I
as long
want to
as
see them at their best, man. Roid them up.
because
They're
listen,
gonna not get as many
if
injuries.
you say that
I
someone,
would
Bro.
say they can use it for injuries.
if you say that
Okay.
someone can't do stuff,
Then not
Right.
on it.
if you're gonna well, that's why they give 6-month medical suspensions anyway.
Exactly. Conor
what I mean?
McGregor just did it.
Right. So like if you tell someone you can't do IVs, now 95% of people aren't going to do IVs, but 5% will, and there's cheaters. Whereas if you say you can do it, then 100% of people can do it, and we're all on level playing ground.
Should
Same
definitely
thing
do
with
it.
steroids. If everyone can do it, it's not really that much of a competitive advantage. Whereas if you have 5% of people doing it, now they have a fucking advantage.
Hey,
They can be caught cheating, of course.
Izzy could be doing.
I'm on the same
Could
boat.
be.
It's kind of
Really
like the
could be.
baseball factor, right? Like,
Right.
do you
Oh,
wanna
baseball's
see 'em?
different.
Do you
Baseball should
wanna see 'em
absolutely have
roided up?
steroids.
Roid 'em up.
100%.
Roid them up.
I want to see.
Runs, dude.
Roid
More
'em
I
than
want
you're
to see
gonna
Barry
watch.
Bonds come out as one big chest muscle. and
Come
just
on.
fucking
What's crazy
Roid
about
'em up.
Barry Bonds though is he was really good even before.
Before,
the roids.
yep.
You know what I mean? And then he got injured, and then he just kept doing it.
For
And
some
he was
reason, Barry Bonds' peak years was 34 to 37 years old. Like, oh shit, I wonder how that happened. But yeah, before the Giants, when he was on the Pirates, he was like a speed guy too, hitting home runs and
fast as-
stealing 40 bases a year and shit.
Now he just
Crazy.
he got walked like every time he went up the bat.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds
I remember watching
has
that.
more intentional walks in like that 3-year period than some teams had walks.
Mariano Rivera.
That's a crazy fucking stat.
That is
He got
not-
walked like 270 times in 3 years or something. I don't know the exact statistic. You were saying Mariano Rivera. I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, I know. Mariano Rivera has less runs as a closer than more people have walked on the moon.
More people. Well,
More people have
more
walked on the
people have
moon.
scored a run in the playoffs against Mariano Rivera. Less people
Less people.
Yeah.
have scored a run against Mariano Rivera in the playoffs than people have walked the moon.
Yeah.
It's like 12 to 14. Or something
It's
like
crazy. And the Red Sox have 4.
that. They have 4 in like
In the
span
game
of
7.
1 year, I think, in one playoff series, I think.
Fucked them up.
It's crazy.
The guy's most clutch, but he can't get that one. He can't get that one.
He also
out.
gave up 2 runs in Game 7 of the World Series to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he did.
If you guys ever, I mean this seriously, okay? Like a heartfelt moment, really,
Here we go.
to you guys. If you guys ever want to talk shit about the Yankees, I implore you,
Oh,
to do
dude, you don't want to.
Ever
it would,
in
it's
your-
borderline. You should throw me in jail, maybe.
whatever you guys want to say, I want you to know from the heart, please feel welcome.
I'll shit on the
Okay.
Red
I
Sox a
am
little
so
too.
glad we're
They
all on
should
the same
not have
page.
traded Babe Ruth, but fuck the Yankees for getting Babe
You know
Ruth.
what? You gotta have some rain to appreciate some sunshine.
Yeah.
That 04 World Series win would not have meant what it did without the 86 years.
Pinnacle of
right.
Boston sports, dude. And
That's where it
probably the
started.
pinnacle. Yeah,
I think
04
it
was
was.
the top, dude.
That's-
Because the Pats won that year too.
Maybe
right?
It was the
07.
Wait, we didn't. I thought all
07.
three. I thought all 3 in 07. The Celtics, the Red Sox,
Yeah.
and the Pats.
Yeah.
They all won.
07,
It was like
was
the,
the Celt? Oh yeah, because it was like 07 and 08. Yeah, yeah.
the
Mhm.
the Bruins were close. Like
Bruins
the
were 11, 2010,
Bruins-
2011.
something like that.
I think Bruins.
They almost
maybe
won in
they weren't
08.
that
2010 they won.
Yeah.
I want to say in 2010, the Patriots, or 2011, the Patriots and the Celtics went to the finals and didn't win, and the Bruins won that year. But there's no fucking
That was
We-
the
you
pinnacle of
can't
Boston sports,
stop
dude.
us.
The,
Like
the crazy
Brady,
thing is,
01.
the New England has had 3 pinnacles over the last 20 years.
But
You
that
know what
is-
I mean?
No, but that's the top of the top. is that 04 win. You know, like,
I would
nothing
say
really
so.
else
Of
felt the
any
same.
New England sports win, I think the
That
04
was
one meant
crazy.
the most.
Yeah,
There's only
definitely.
one I can compare it to.
87 years.
And
87
I'm admittedly not a New England Patriots fan, but I live in New England and I can appreciate the shit out of it, what it meant. The Malcolm Butler one, that was a pretty fucking amazing championship.
That's like
Bro,
very
I was-
close.
because
That's
it was
very
also
close.
the first Super Bowl of the second dynasty of the Patriots, right? Like they hadn't won in 12 years or something like that. And then they fucking did that and it started the next dynasty. So that one was
Yeah,
pretty
started,
spectacular
yeah.
too. The 08 Celtics, that was their first win since like 80.
Kevin Garnett.
Anything's possible.
Right.
That was awesome.
That was awesome too.
That was the second pinnacle. That was like the it tried the double top, and then it just dipped down a little bit more.
Am I
It was that, no.
am I wrong?
personally,
Did
the
they
04.
beat the Lakers to do that? They did, right?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
they did.
sure.
And then the Lakers beat
That would have
them.
been Kobe's 6th ring. Yeah, fuck you guys.
No, Kobe did
fuck
get
that.
No.
6, didn't he?
I got 5.
You got
Yeah,
five.
Kobe's
You got
5
one
for
more than
6.
Shaq.
Yeah.
5
One
for
more
6.
than Shaq. But Shaq got
Shaq got one with the Heat with Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
3 with the Lakers, 1 with the Heat,
Hmm.
and he went to 1 with the Cavs and didn't get it.
was he on the Celtics? No, he wasn't on the Celtics.
He was on the Celtics for a little while.
He
I
was.
think it
but
was
he
the
was.
He wasn't on the
Total
championship
end
role.
of his career.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the championship.
He was
team.
fat at that time. He wasn't really taking care of himself.
Yeah, he was like 3 bills at that point.
He was a refrigerator, bro.
Yeah.
He was
Freezer
huge.
and a fridge.
Like Kendrick Perkins with a little bit more skill.
Yeah. No, he was still.
But he
good.
couldn't run quickly up and
No.
down the court. Is the problem. He was
Slow tempo, boys. Slow tempo.
Slow.
Those knees.
Who?
Let the big boy come back down.
He looks better now than what he did at the end of his career
Yeah.
in the NBA. No questions. I think
It's crazy.
it looks like he goes to the gym now and he like
Does Kobe need Shaq or does Shaq need Kobe?
Shaq needs Kobe.
I think Shaq beats Kobe. Kobe did it. He had Pau Gasol, but like Pau Gasol's no Shaq. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
And he had a lot more help on those.
Well, that's why he won maybe
2000,
3 rings.
2002,
And the only
2003
reason why he
season.
won with the Heat was because he had D Wade, man.
Yeah, D-Wade
Come on,
was-
D Wade was going.
That's why
on,
LeBron won.
bro.
What did come on? Don't
Yeah,
stop
true.
at that. That's why
Sure.
LeBron won.
When you-
Shit.
When you think about it,
They had Chris Bosh too.
The Lakers
I mean,
went
they
to
were
Ray
really
Allen.
good. Yeah, Ray Allen at the end.
yeah.
3 in the corner after LeBron shanked it.
Was that the most important Heat ring, arguably, or was it the early
Heat
one?
ring?
Yeah,
Um,
because that was the last one, right? After that,
I
he
would think
left.
if I was a Miami fan, I would cherish the one D Wade did with Shaq without LeBron and Bosh, right? You
Would
got to
you?
think you would. But
I-
I mean, for the status of it all and for the memories of what happened, that Ray Allen 3 was probably like Miami got pretty hyped.
so
No,
during
nuts.
then.
no,
They probably got
crazy.
pretty
So
hyped.
nuts.
Number 1 3-point shooter at the time too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Coming from the team that he just mollywopped every single season, pretty much.
Getting
except for
traded
one.
How
Signing with the
how
Heat.
much farther away from Ray Allen is Steph now with 3-pointers made? Like, how much fucking span does he have?
Isn't that
Because
crazy? Ray Allen's gonna
Ray
be,
Allen was the number 1 3-point shooter in career, and Steph Curry passed when 31 years old. Not only that, but like, is James
crazy.
Harden number 2 yet? Because for a while he was chasing.
He's probably there.
I'm sure it's close.
Of the people that changed the game of basketball,
Steph Curry.
Dave Lillard's up there too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if in 5 years there's like Ray Allen 7. You know what I mean? Just because it's the 3-point shooting league now. It's totally different. But like, as part of people that have changed the game,
The most.
I won't even say of NBA. I'll say of any sport. Pick any fucking sport you want.
I don't know.
Steph's up there.
Oh yeah.
He is up there.
I'm not gonna say one.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say he's number 1 for basketball. I think Jordan's probably number 1, man.
He has to be.
Yeah, but he.
Jordan
Yeah,
changed.
Maybe not even Jordan,
but
but
if
you
you
could say
say-
fucking like Bill Russell or Wilt. They changed the fucking
Yeah,
game.
I would like say that.
I would
Honestly,
say
I would
Bill
say
Russell.
Bill Russell.
Kareem.
Kareem. Listen, if more people did the skyhook, then Kareem would be number 1.
Steph Curry's gonna have more. Well, maybe because he got injured, maybe not. But he might have more points than LeBron has at the end of his career. We'll see.
I think he was injured a lot in the beginning of his years, and but he might have a longer. He might go till he's 40
The
because
thing-
he shoots. He doesn't like go to the rim and take the
Yeah.
all the time.
The thing though, like what
He
I
just
say,
runs so much.
is-
He also gets paid a fucking lot, and I wouldn't leave until I
we
could not do it anymore.
we always say
Yeah,
like,
but I'm sure his sponsorships
what
are
if-
way more.
what
than
if
his
Jordan
contract.
shot 3-pointers? Like he
yeah,
would
if Jordan
be like,
shot threes, it'd be so different.
That's why I think Steph changed the game. Like,
Right.
we all look at Michael Jordan like, yo, if he did 3-pointers, like this guy
Yeah,
would
but
be.
he was
Jordan
in a-
averaged like
crazy.
1.2 3-pointers per game, or maybe less.
I
And
don't
Steph
know.
averages like 4.
Jordan was in a league where there was a lot of like soft layups and like I don't know, there wasn't a lot of athletic shit. And then he came
Yes.
into the game and he was jumping around doing all this shit,
Right.
and everybody was like started doing
I don't
that.
know. Like,
I
it
feel
was still
I
like
don't know.
Kareem and Larry Bird.
Who would
people
do better in
like
each other's
that.
era? Would Curry do better in the 90s, or would Jordan do better in the 20-teens?
Curry would
20s?
shit all
I
over
think Curry
everybody
would
in the
shit
90s.
on everybody on.
It's not even close.
Because you'd be shooting threes.
The
You
problem
I
is
literally
think
be
that
going
this
to
is
the
fucked
hoop.
up to say, but I think that there's probably a good amount of people, like at least 4 or 5 people in the NBA right now that would do what Jordan did back then. Can you imagine fucking like
Yeah, probably.
Giannis
But they're not
in the
gonna win.
90s?
No.
But they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. They're not gonna three-peat like Steph Curry did. Like if you play
I
like
don't think
Jordan,
Curry
if you play
three-peated.
like Jordan in this era, you're probably not gonna three-peat.
I think if you put Luka Doncic in the 90s, I think he could.
you could three-peat.
I think that there is, and it might not be that much of a difference, but there's a difference in the mental ability and the toughness that Jordan had that most of these guys don't have today.
Full game. That says it all.
Not only that, but knowing that you're the best player and you're going to get fouled 10 times, and 4 of those are going to be hard fouls, and you're still going to take it to the bucket every time. That's a lot.
What's more
Like
impressive?
fucking Bill Laimbeer and Isaiah Thomas throwing you to the ground. You got Charles Oakley and Pat Ewing in New York that are going to elbow the shit out of you.
Yeah,
And you're still going.
It's not like these little like wrist slaps
Right.
like LeBron was getting.
And-
Like,
Good
And you're
one.
not-
I see what you did there.
And you're not fucking
I see.
Jordan going and complaining about every call either. Like you get fouled, you go down, and you try to go beat someone's ass. You don't go talk to the ref.
Yeah.
Like, it's so different.
Yeah, you don't scream like a girl, banging your head on the free throw line, complaining.
down on one
Wow,
knee.
you
Right.
should be focusing, and then you let your teammate that you should be coaching because you're the captain of the team, and you just ruined it after he leaves.
Let him
You let
score on the
your
next play.
teammate get a technical foul. Well, you should be telling him no.
I
calm
loved the Last Dance documentary too, because it really showed how his teammates really didn't like him
Yep.
as a player, but like
As a
when it
person.
came down, as a person, but when it came down to it in crunch time, like in the game, like they just followed him no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
They knew-
Like they knew he was the
They
GOAT.
knew he was gonna win.
They just knew he was the
They
GOAT.
knew that
He's
they-
like a lieutenant. Like
He
you
is.
fucking hate his
No,
guts,
no,
but
no.
there's no one you're going to war with.
He's
Yeah.
the fucking general.
There's no one else you'd rather follow.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Head coach, the president, he's the fucking general.
But you know, like there's not anybody like that who would talk about LeBron like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I don't know.
Brought something in me like he can take literally a shit ender. Any team in the NBA.
There's a
not
couple
maybe
things.
now, but in his prime,
No.
absolutely.
There's a couple
I
things
think
that
now
you would
even
have
more.
to give LeBron
But he
the
couldn't win
advantage over
No.
Jordan.
Yeah.
You'd have to give LeBron the longevity over Jordan. You'd have to give LeBron the playmaking over Jordan.
Different era, different play.
You'd have to give like that might be it. You know, LeBron, I guess because Jordan didn't shoot threes, you can give LeBron a 3-point shooting advantage, but it's not that different because LeBron never shot threes back then. And not to mention LeBron is 4 inches taller and 40 pounds heavier too.
He's a gift.
Comparing them
He's a
in
gift from God.
in the
yeah.
game, like and saying, oh, like one's a better scorer or what, there's really no comparison to either one of them because they're two completely different players.
They
Like,
are.
It's
The better comparison in Jordan's era is Bird.
Yeah.
Bird is very similar to LeBron.
Magic.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say
Magic.
Magic.
Yeah,
and
Magic
LeBron.
is a really good example.
Because they're passing.
Magic
ability.
just was able to make everybody around him better.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you know that Magic Johnson has the most assists per game in NBA history? He has 11.2
Really?
assists per game.
That's why he's one of the greats. I
More
mean,
than John Stockton.
he won
that's
what?
crazy.
Only 2 championships?
Magic?
3?
I think he won 3 or 4. He might have won 4, and Bird won 2. He might have actually won 4. Dude, the Lakers have titles.
Yeah. Celtics have the most. We'll have freaking
Do
10.
they still?
I'm pretty sure it's either tied or
I know it's very fucking close.
Maybe you guys have one more with the 2020 win in the bubble. Just like an Ash win, you know.
People can say that, but I generally, all right, this would be a fun debate. I like to think Magic has 5 rings.
That I didn't know.
I didn't realize that either. By the way, his rookie year in the finals, Magic played all 5 positions, which I think is a really cool stat. He started a game in all 5 positions. Fucking point guard started at center in the NBA finals as a rookie. What was I just going to say? Oh, the bubble championship. Okay. I'd be willing to make the case that is the most pure ring that happened.
No,
Look, there's no
it's
fucking
not.
distractions, dude. Everybody's on the same playing field. Everyone's in the bubble. No one has their girls coming late night. No one's partying. No one's doing any of this different shit. They're all in the bubble, only playing ball. Like, why is that?
They
an
might as well
asterisk
go to
ring?
the YMCA and play.
Why is that? It's completely
The
different.
crowds,
It's completely
no,
different.
no. The crowds make the game different. The whole entire home advantage in basketball is a real thing.
Yeah, but when you talk about the fact that home teams would have advantage, and then they would go to the other stadium, and then the other team would have an advantage, and now it's an even playing field. Like you're talking about, they would have an advantage at both of their stadiums, so it's even, and now no one has an advantage.
Nope. Give me the factors. All the factors have to be in the game. It has to. It's a factor.
But
That's like oh, all right. Let's have a football game.
I like this.
Let's have
I
the
like this more
NFL,
than
you know,
me
the
going on
Super
everything in
Bowl,
UFC.
and let's take everybody out of the Super Bowl and have nobody in the stands.
and have a fucking pure game of football. That's what I'm
Now
talking
you're seeing
about.
what I deal with, Steve. You're
No,
seeing what I deal with,
no,
Steve.
no.
This is what I'm dealing with.
No,
Steve.
How is that not?
That's
Dealing
like
with
going to
this-
Australia, having Volkanovski fight with nobody in the crowd. Like, why did he go to Australia?
Now, let me ask you this.
So you can sleep good.
You make an okay point there, but it's different because when you talk about the UFC, you're not having the multiple stadium difference. Like you don't have a 1-game series in the NBA like you do in the UFC. You have 7-game series, so you go to both stadiums.
Okay.
So like when you go into the bubble, every team is doing the same exact thing. Every team's working out the same amount. Every team is, I don't know about getting the same amount of sleep, but they're not like going out and partying like some of the fucking rookies that will, you know, do some stupid shit. And then you got just going out and playing fucking basketball. That's all you're doing. Every team is on the exact same playing field.
You're saying there was no distractions,
It's
though?
the championship of
So many
basketball. You have to have
All you're focused on is basketball.
you have to be able to perform in the limelight
Mhm.
with the, you know,
Let me ask you this.
Most bullshit.
If a different team had won, if it wasn't LeBron getting his only ring with the Lakers and like, oh, we now won with 3 different teams, would you still be making this? Or is it a little bit because, all right, LeBron and the Lakers won in the bubble and like, fuck
No.
them, that's not a real champ.
no matter who would have won in the bubble, I would have been like, yeah, no, doesn't count.
Not to cut this off, but you remember when Devin Booker and the Suns went 8-0 in the bubble and they didn't even make the playoffs? Remember when that shit happened? Like they had to play in a couple games? Fucking rip to that. I remember that storyline. That was crazy.
I've been nuts.
I don't know, man. I respectfully disagree. I totally see your
It's
point.
a fair point. No,
But
I don't mind your argument. I just don't agree.
also shout out to Jimmy who put up like 48 minutes in the last game. Remember that? When
Yeah.
Jimmy was like, yeah, that was his only performance. That was when I love Jimmy Butler, man. The fact that he got traded to the Timberwolves and beat their starting lineup with the third stringers and then fucked off. He was like, I don't need you fucking guys. Love that guy.
That was when he was like the most toxic player in the NBA, and then he finally landed in the Heat, and now he's like an
All right,
all-star.
now we got a squad.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Butler has the mentality of a leader. You know,
Yeah.
you can't put him on a team where he's like the third guy.
Did you see the? I saw like a little spiel about him. Like he doesn't really know who his father is, and he grew up like.
He has a really bad backstory.
But I saw like something about how Michael Jordan has like a bunch of kids that he doesn't know about.
So
And,
maybe
like,
Jimmy's.
Think that Jimmy is one of them, and honestly, they do kind of look alike. And, like,
Oh my god. They're like the
Imagine
same
that.
build. They're
dude,
like
they're the
6'5",
same
220.
mentality, bro.
Jordan
They
has a
play
bunch
similar.
of kids he doesn't know about.
Listen,
think he
man, if we
does.
want to
He
go
must.
down the list
Yeah,
of NBA
Jimmy.
players that have kids they probably don't know
Damian
about,
Lillard.
Sure, there's a lot.
Is he-
Magic Johnson claimed to have sex with 20,000 women in his first 5 years in the NBA. How many fucking kids does he not have? I know.
HIV, bro.
No, of course he did. But I'm just saying, like, imagine how many kids he doesn't fucking know
I
about.
know. Yeah, it's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Nah, he wore a condom, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure he fucking did.
Except for that
I'm sure
one
he
time.
pulled out.
Except for that one
That
time.
one
That
time.
one time.
That one time.
Yep.
Wah, wah, wah.
I remember watching shit when Magic came back because he was gone for like 2 years after he had AIDS, and he came back because he got the cure somehow, right?
Yeah, you want to know what the cure is?
Remember
Money.
South
Money.
Park? They were like injecting
Yeah.
liquid money into themselves.
But then like he came back and he got hit in the face or something. He was bleeding, and like they almost suspended the game because they were like, "Holy shit!
What do
Like,
we
what
do?
the fuck do we do?" Like whoever elbowed him got rushed to the hospital because they didn't know if he got AIDS because of it. Like some crazy shit. Imagine that. But that was also like 1990 when they had no idea what AIDS really was.
30
They
years
didn't have all
ago,
this stuff.
AIDS was
Yeah,
a
it was
death
like Corona.
sentence.
Yeah.
You get AIDS and you were like dead. They were like, "Oh, you probably won't." Look at Freddie
Everybody-
Mercury, bro.
As soon as it happened to Magic Johnson, everybody was like, "Oh, I didn't know he was gay." But that's what everybody thought. That's
Yeah.
what everybody
Awful,
thought
huh?
back in the day. It's crazy.
That's true.
It's not?
crazy.
No, it's
It's
that was a
Wait,
bad
you're
joke.
telling me?
It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke.
Mm.
That's a bad joke. Nah, like it is true though. Like he guy was a
Now-
player.
Now HIV is curable.
Well, now Magic Johnson's
Not curable. No, not
You sure
curable.
about
I'm
that?
sorry, I shouldn't say that.
treatable.
Treatable. They make it undetectable now,
Yes.
so that you can. And
Magic
now it's
Johnson
not death
is
sentence.
fat. When's the last time you saw someone with HIV become fat? You know what I mean? The cure might be money, but it also might be bacon.
No,
That's a
Kinda
comedy bit.
fucked up.
money.
I like bacon.
That's a comedy.
I love
I
bacon.
love
I love bacon too. That's kind of fucked up. But I think he has a lot of money, and that is why he fucking survives.
Of course it is.
There's no other reason why.
If he was a mid NBA player and he made half as much as what he, I'm
It's
being
funny because
completely
I was
honest
thinking
with you.
this too. Yeah, he would be dead.
He would not have been alive. 100%. He would have just been another person who died of AIDS.
Right. If this guy was like a second round pick, bench warming for the
Clip that.
Bucks
Clip that.
or something.
Yo, clip that shit.
I mean, but are we wrong? I mean, I know it's gonna be like something that people might get angry about, but it's true.
But
It
that
100% is. Money makes the world go round, and
And not only that, but his fame and his
Look at how many
celebrity and the
people he's helped
NBA probably helped him out.
like, do you think the NBA gives them health insurance? The answer is no.
well, I think they do.
They probably do.
Magic Johnson,
but
they did.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the NBA, David Stern,
They, you know what?
slippery fingers Stern back in the day. That dude,
Maybe they did,
bro.
but they weren't giving it out to everybody.
You want to talk about the most
David
Conspirative.
Stern? Who's David Stern? Oh,
you want to talk about those conspirative
that guy.
NBA or any sports league commissioner? You got Pete Rozelle back there for the NFL and David Stern. Like those guys were taking money from everybody.
What about Roger Goodell? This guy's a
Roger Goodell too.
This guy's
Yeah.
a fucking bozo.
Yeah.
This guy's
I
a
don't
fucking
really like
idiot.
that guy either.
This guy is dumb
Yeah.
as hell. Like he makes the stupidest shit up, and he suspends Ray Rice for 2 games. For 2 games.
Actual, what was he convicted
The guy
of?
was dragging his dude. That he is dumb, and he's gonna suspend Tom Brady for 4. Come the fuck on! How can you suspend
Greatest
Tom Brady
player of all
for
time.
4 games for 1 PSI when you can, and you're only gonna suspend Ray Rice
That was
for
the stupidest thing
for 2
ever.
games?
Speaking as a Colts fan,
Deflate.
fan, who was the team he beat in Deflategate, that was the stupidest suspension ever. I mean, he clearly cheated, and he should never be allowed to play. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. Calm down. You know that I think Deflategate's stupid.
I'm gonna say, don't make me start.
I hope
saying
everybody
shit.
thinks Deflategate's stupid.
It is.
It
But you
really
know what?
is.
Deflategate
How
led
many rings
to.
did hang on? Did Peyton Manning get 2 rings on the Colts?
But the Deflategate led to him fucking fucking up the league and winning a title. You know what I mean? He won that year.
Yeah.
Another thing, what's more impressive, Brady winning on the Bucks or Peyton winning on the Broncos?
Trying to shit on Peyton for my
No,
sake.
I'm not.
Is
No,
that-
that's
clearly
a
are with the
great-
last
no,
joke.
no, that is a great
Real-
question. What's more
the last
impressive?
joke you clearly were. clearly said that
Oh,
for
yeah,
my
but-
disbenefit.
No, the second
100%.
question
second
is
one's a
actually
good
a
one.
good one.
You want me to do one?
Yeah, but it
Okay.
was
And then you look
both.
at Harry like, dick.
Right. No, but what's better? What's more impressive?
What's more impressive? Well, can you talk about in the fashion that he? Oh no, it wasn't even in that fashion. No, it's clearly Brady. It's
Yeah.
definitely Brady.
No,
Because
me
Manning
too.
had a bad year the year
Me
he
too.
won.
It's a great argument, though.
Brady not only got 7, but he got it at 42. You know, so that's more impressive than Peyton doing it 39.
Broncos also had
Peyton's
Von
was
Miller at the
pretty
time.
impressive, though.
It was, but Peyton also got carried by his defense that year.
That's true.
Yeah.
Von
Von
Miller.
Miller, baby,
Yeah.
defensive.
Von
Cam
Miller.
Newton didn't jump on the fumble.
Von Miller is
Yeah.
that dude.
Cam Newton, man.
Von Miller's gone to how many
Crazy,
different teams and won Super Bowls? He won
2
only 2 right
Broncos and Rams.
now. That's
And
it.
he's on the Bills now. He was injured most of the season though.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the thing that sucks with his career, huh? Injuries. Want to do our picks?
Well, oh yeah, we got to do picks. This has been an explosive pod.
Interesting.
All right, so I don't know about you
rapid
guys,
fire.
but yeah, rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
I'm gonna give you guys the tail of the tape, and we're gonna base it off that. That's what we're gonna do.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. First,
Pull up the
first
sports
fight.
book.
The
If you want.
first
Oh,
fight.
no,
Sports book?
I do that.
No.
If you want to pull it up just to show odds, but I'm just gonna go from the tail of the tape.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
Tail of the tape.
We got Carpenter versus Rondero in a flyweight fight. Carpenter has an 1.5-inch reach advantage. He also has a 3-inch height advantage and is a year younger. Carpenter's 6-0, Rondero's 4-1. This tail, I'm going Carpenter. Just based off tail of the tape, it's a clear pick for me.
We'll go with Carpenter as well.
I am going to go with Carpenter as well.
What are you saying, like minus 600 or something?
It is.
Hey, what are you saying?
I'll go with Carpenter too. Full
Good
sweep.
call.
Good call.
Does anybody know where that's from?
Oh, it's not even in the
No.
sports book.
Walking Dead.
AJ Fletcher versus Themba Garimbo.
Ooh, I
Garimbo
like
with
that
a
name.
10
Yeah,
inch
I want to
reach
go with
advantage.
Demba.
10-inch reach advantage for Themba.
Oh my god.
And a 3-inch height advantage as well.
Yeah, I'm going
10
with that.
inch? I'm gonna
10
go.
inch.
Is it his first fight or something? Never heard of that name.
No, I haven't either. AJ Fletcher, I've heard of
Yeah, me too.
multiple times though.
10-inch reach advantage though? I'm gonna have to go with the 10 inch.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I like AJ Fletcher.
I'm gonna have to go with the 10 inch.
What are we saying?
10-incher.
They're fighting at 170.
Yes.
That's, oh my god.
Did you find it?
Come on.
Yeah, I did.
10 inches.
You know, I really want to pick the 10-incher. I really do, but
Can you tell us the odds?
yeah, minus 270 for Fletcher.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm
Really?
thinking. That's what I was saying. Like Fletcher's been in the UFC. He's pretty good.
That's what I mean. Like 10 inches.
10-inch reach advantage. Listen, we saw Randy Brown. We saw Jack Della Maddalena do it with a 6-inch, but it's a 10-inch reach advantage. That is stupid. 77-inch reach for a welterweight.
What is he?
Really
Plus money,
stupid.
huh?
Yeah, he's plus 220.
I was thinking
Fletcher.
Fletcher before that, and I'm gonna ride that. Although it's 10-inch reach advantage, it's really hard to ignore.
That is crazy.
It's crazy.
That is something to definitely. Keep
Why
an eye
is
on.
Fletcher now? Is Fletcher like?
They're both the same height though. He's 5'10".
I think they're
6
different.
feet,
Yeah, 5'10" and 6'1".
2 inches, 3 inches.
Oh my god.
That you know what this means?
Alright.
Garimbo is
Is
skating.
he ass?
And see, that's what I worry about with takedowns. Like, how's his takedown defense
Yeah.
gonna be?
All right, Fletcher
10-inch
is.
reach advantages.
Why?
That is
Let me see this dude. What does he look like?
I'm gonna go Fletcher as well.
Orthodox. There, he has no stats. It's his first fight.
Is he undefeated?
10-3.
10-3.
No, yeah, I'm going.
Damn.
Fletcher.
You going Fletcher?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Fletcher it. Fletcher it up. Fletcher it.
Harry.
I'll go with Demba.
You going with them? Okay, at least we got
Okay.
one person.
Yeah, I know. At least we got
We
one.
need one person on the 10. and
Harry's
50.
gonna be the only one that goes flawless in this card.
He probably is.
I might have to ride Harry's picks.
All right, OSP versus Felipe Lins. OSP is at the back half of his career. Philip Lins is kind of a budding prospect. He's not anything crazy. I'd be interested to see the odds in this. I'd like to go Lins. OSP's 39.
Done, maybe, you know.
He's still gotten some wins over the last 2 years. But Lins is 37 too.
This
I
guy's
didn't
not a
realize
cream
that.
of the crop.
Lens is
either.
minus 225.
We can go with a
Lins
lens.
is minus 225. Yeah, I'm gonna go Lins.
You guys can't.
OSP has a 2-inch reach advantage. I don't know if that matters to anybody.
Nah,
What are we saying, guys?
I'll go with Lens as well.
I
Yeah,
said
I'm gonna,
lens.
I'm gonna take Lens.
Okay, clean sweep for Lins.
Is that a lock? That's a lock.
I'm
a
not
lock.
gonna use that
That
for a
is
lock.
not
That's
a
not
lock.
a lock.
That
Because
is
Open St.
not a
Crew. Well, Open St. Crew,
He could win.
you could see like old flashbacks here and there, and it could surprise him, and he can finish him real quick.
You got Emmers versus Ass Kebab. His name is Ass Kebab.
Ask Kebab.
Emmers has a
Ask Kebab.
5-inch reach advantage, but Ass Kebab is 23-0.
Really?
23-0.
He's
Uh,
minus 155.
Ooh,
He
that's
has
a
no
weird number.
stats.
It
on.
is. I know
It's a
you like
weird
to fade
number,
that number.
Zach.
I know you like to fade that number.
That's a weird number. Why? Why minus 155?
It's
Why?
Askabov's
That's a weird
debut,
number.
though.
Debut in the UFC.
Yeah.
Jamal Emmers has had like 2 fights in the UFC, so it's not like a crazy difference.
What has Jamal Emmers done in his past couple fights?
He lost by sub to Sabatini.
Pat Sabatini is not a bad fighter. I'm gonna go the debut guy. He's the favorite. He's a 5-inch reach disadvantage. I think I'm gonna fade the bookie here.
I'm gonna go with Jamal Emmers.
Yeah, I think I'm going Emmers.
Just because we have seen recently, there was a fight night where 3 undefeated guys, all minus 300, lost. So like I don't really look at that
In
number
their debut, yeah.
in their debut as well. I think it's one of
I
those
just faded a
fade-
10-inch reach advantage. I'm not gonna fade another big one. So this one I'm gonna take the fucking reach.
5 inches is a good amount, and when you're stepping
is.
up to a UFC, and what he's stepping up
They also
to
they're
featherweight
very
for the
similar
first
in
time.
height. Very
He
similar.
fought at 135. He's moving up to 145.
He
So he's
did
also moving
not-
up in a division.
Did he? I think he stayed at Pat Sabatini's a featherweight.
Askabov does
No.
not go to decision.
Oh, Askabov. Okay,
Says-
gotcha.
Askabov has like 1 win by decision. All the rest of them are about like TKO and sub. Most of them by sub.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mm.
you're right. Askabov is moving up.
All right, maybe I'm gonna switch to Askabov.
I'm
gonna switch to Askabov.
I'm gonna take Askabov.
Are you saying?
I'm staying, but you did it wrong.
And then Harry, what are you saying?
I'll take Askabov.
Next up, we have Lena Landsberg versus Mara Bueno Silva. Landsberg is 40, 10-7. Bueno Silva 9-2. I'm taking Bueno Silva. And I think she's the favorite in this fight.
Yeah, she's minus 500.
Okay.
On a chick fight.
Landsberg's 40 years old. This is probably her last fight.
Lock me up for Silva.
Lock.
Yeah.
Cool.
Harry, Bueno Silva.
Yep.
Austin.
Yep.
That might be a lock for me as well. What's next? Next up, we have Nazim Sadikov versus Evan Elder. Both are 7-1. Elder has a 3-inch reach advantage. He's also 3 years younger.
I am gonna take Elder.
I feel like I've heard the name Evan Elder before. Do you have the odds?
It's plus 170 for Elder, minus 200 for Saidikov.
See, this one's close. This is where I'd like to look at the records. I'd like to see their styles, but we're not doing that today.
He's got a
Minus
3
200 for Sadikov. Evan Elder's younger, 3-inch reach. I might go with Elder as well.
Sadikov's got 3 wins by TKO in his last 3. Elder's got 1 loss by unanimous decision, and then wins by TKO and unanimous decision.
So Sadikov has submission wins. Elder doesn't.
No.
I'm going with Sadikov.
Steve, who you got?
I am going to still take Elder.
And then Harry.
Sadikov.
That's our first 2-2 split.
Cool.
Go to the main card. We got a little bit of a better main card here. Jim Miller versus Alexander Hernandez
Alexander Hernandez
is a
lock
very
it up.
good fight.
Lock it up.
Yeah.
I'm
I
tempted.
don't know,
I'm
dude.
tempted to take Miller here.
Go ahead. Take the old man.
Jim Miller, the most fights,
Take the old
and I think most performance bonuses in the UFC.
Gaethje. But
No, I believe Miller has him because I think Miller just won one against Cerrone that put him over Gaethje. I could be wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Let me.
Oliveira's
He
up there
did-
too.
He did just sub Cerrone in July of last year.
Mm-hmm. There's a 3-fight contract he just signed. Alexander Hernandez used to be at featherweight. He's now at lightweight. I believe he lost his first lightweight fight. Could be now he's in for a win, though.
Lost by TKO.
Are we? Yeah, he got gassed. He got gassed in his first fight at lightweight. But he's now had like 4 or 5 months to re-get himself.
Give me
That-
Miller.
Do you have the odds for it?
Plus 190 for Miller. Minus 235 for Hernandez.
Nate Diaz.
You're saying
1.
Miller?
I am.
Nate Diaz has 16 total bonuses.
Hmm.
Joe Lozon at 15.
Joe Lozon had like 25 fights, so that makes sense.
Anderson Silva 14. Jim Miller 13.
Okay. And then Gaethje has 11, I believe.
There's a lot. There's 18 more.
Harry, what are you saying? Miller or Hernandez?
I'm going to go with Miller.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a really close fight. I want to say Miller. Hernandez is a big favorite. I like the fact that he's on his second fight at lightweight.
This next one's interesting.
I'm going to take Hernandez. What's the next one? Knight versus Pacquiao?
No, Parisian. Or no, is this it?
Knight versus
This is
Pacquiao.
on,
That's it. Knight versus Prashna.
So Pacquiao is like 4 inches taller, but only a 1-inch reach advantage, and they're the same age.
I'm going to go with Paracchio because I think William Knight's going to have trouble making weight, and I think he's a bum.
They're both kind of bummish.
They are bummish.
I know both of these names, although I know William Knight a little bit more. I think he's had maybe 1 or 2 more UFC fights. If I'm going rapid fire, I'm going to say Knight. I'd like to hear the. Did you say Pacquiao?
Mm-hmm.
I'd
It
like
is kind of a pick 'em. It's minus 120 for Knight and plus 100.
Okay. I'm gonna go Knight.
Who did you pick?
That don't matter.
Prashna.
That don't matter.
No, I just worry about the wrestling. Like, it doesn't really look like the other guy wrestles.
When you say the other guy doesn't wrestle, what are you talking about?
Like, Knight has thrown takedowns, or like his takedown accuracy is 44%.
Which is pretty good.
So I'm gonna go with Knight.
Harry?
I'll go with Knight too.
I'm going to lock that up.
You're locking that?
Yep.
I'm gonna lock up Mr. Knight.
Oh, we have to pick 4 locks. By the way.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
We usually go over at the end and pick the other guys we want. Parisian versus Pogus.
Hocus
Pogis.
pocus.
2-inch reach advantage for Parisian. 6 years older. Parisian has had much more UFC fights, although I believe Parisian's like 1-3 in the UFC or something like that.
Cancel my last lock.
Hmm.
Put Puelguis as my other lock. Pogus.
Really?
Yes.
You know, you won't. That only put you at 2, so you could still do Knight.
I know, but I
Okay.
think I might have other.
You're
locks.
taking Pogus as a lock.
I am. Yeah.
Can you tell me why?
He just takedown accuracy, takedown averages. He averages 3.
Oof. So
in a fight
he's
versus
going to
1.
wrestle.
I think he's gonna wrestle. He looks a little bit bigger, beefier.
This is a heavyweight fight, by the way.
Oh, bro, give me that.
Yeah,
Give me
I'm gonna take a lock on the other guy because I watched Pogue's last fight, his debut, and he looked gassed the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just coming off of a
Lock in
loss
Parisian.
Give
too.
me Parisian. That's why I thought that was the next fight. I think this is an interesting fight, especially at heavyweight. And he's plus 200.
Well, what you just said about fucking, I don't know how to say this guy's name, Pogues. What you just said about Pogues wrestling
Pogues.
intrigues me. What you just said about Pogues cardio really intrigues me.
Mm.
It's a heavyweight fight, so I don't think either of them aren't going to be gassed. Especially, listen, if Pogues goes for takedowns the whole first round and he doesn't get them, then he's going to be fucked for round 2 and 3. And Parisian's more experienced. But if he gets the takedowns, I can see a heavyweight wrestler that'll be able to fuck up Parisian. This is a close fight. Can I get odds?
Plus
Plus
200 for Parisian.
Oh,
Damn.
Minus 240 for
okay. Yeah, I'll go with the bookie here. I'll go with Pogues.
Pogie.
Is that all of us? Okay.
See, that is why I don't like the number affecting the fight, because something like that, the number affects it right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because if you didn't know the number, you're choosing Parisian.
But I only ask for the number when I'm like deadlocked. You know what I mean? I guess I ask for the number for everything. But I only really, it
that's a
affects me when I'm deadlocked.
Prime example.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Jordan Wright versus Zach Paga. I know the number on this before I even say it. Zach Paga was the guy who went to the Ultimate Fighter and lost to Muhammad Usman. Jordan Wright started off his career 12-0, and then as soon as he started fighting good competition, has lost a lot.
Wow.
So he's lost his last 4, I believe, or maybe he's 1-4 in his last
He's
5.
lost, 4 of his last 5.
He used to fight at middleweight, and now he fights at light heavyweight. His first fight at light heavyweight, which I find interesting. And I'm pretty sure that Zach Paga fought Usman at heavyweight, and now he's down to light heavyweight. I'm going Zach Paga here. I think that Wright is, like, as soon as he fights good competition, and Zach Paga has hands. He has power in his hands, especially if he's moving from heavyweight to light heavyweight. I'm going to go Paga, and that might be a lock for me.
Lock him
I'm
up.
gonna go Paga as well.
Lock him up.
Paga and Paga.
Jordan Wright was
Yeah.
Wright at the one point in time.
I'll
Him and
lock
Tai
it up.
Tuivasa were both like at the last foot of their contract, and Tai Tuivasa exploded, and Jordan Wright just kept losing.
I think you're thinking of someone different.
No, because
Jordan Wright was a middleweight.
No, I know.
Okay. Are we all locking Paga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the main event. Main event, 5 rounds, Andrade versus Blanchfield. We were talking about this before you got down here. I think Aaron Blanchfield might be the youngest person to main event a card since possibly
me?
Jon Jones. 23 years old, main eventing a card. I can't think of anyone that's done that anytime recently. Just interesting.
Yeah, I
We
don't
were
know.
talking about it.
I don't know. I would. I'm gonna have to go with you on this one.
4-inch reach advantage. Andrade, so much more experienced. She's also coming in on a week notice. Aaron Blanchfield, a really good wrestler. Andrade is just good all around. She's great jiu-jitsu. She has really great standing. And she's finally not fighting someone that like towers over her. Like Lauren Murphy was 5'6" and Jessica Andrade was 5'2". And now they're pretty close in stature. A week notice is the only reason I'm not hammering Andrade on this. Main events are always locks, by the way. You have to put it as a lock.
Yeah.
Do you?
That's what we've done for every event.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I really want to pick
I'm just
Blanchfield
gonna
here.
go.
I'm picking Blanchfield. I don't even care.
I'm going with Andrade.
I think the wrestling is just going to be too much.
Mhm.
She did really bad with
only
Shevchenko when
23,
Shevchenko tried
you know,
wrestling her.
I feel like a lot of these younger opponents that like what happened to that guy that was 12-0. They just meet competition and then
Right.
and Andrade.
I think that in
first
5
major
years,
competition.
I think in 5 years she could totally be a champion. But right now is really soon for her.
It's too
Her
soon.
last win was Molly Meatball,
I
and
know.
now she's fighting
Impressive.
Jessica Andrade.
I know.
Not impressive.
Aaron Blanchfield was also the person that was the first person to beat Miranda Maverick, who at that time we were thinking like she might be.
And Molly Meatball has terrible
Wrestling,
takedown defense
yes.
and wrestling. Terrible. And Blanchfield made it look easy. Just saying.
She did.
No,
It
you're
was
right.
Just saying.
terrible.
Right.
It was
But a
utter
week
domination.
notice, and she just fought on the 21st.
Look at Sean Strickland. That's what I'm not really basing off of Sean Strickland.
I'm going Andrade.
It's two totally different fighters, but I think
Andrade is just a consummate professional, though. She fights at flyweight and strawweight. Like, she's obviously good with her weight. She's 5'2", so it's not like she's going to be cutting that much.
She's better at
heavyweight.
flyweight. Totally.
I don't know. I think she's really good at strawweight, too. She's lost to both champs.
Yeah, but I think she has a better time at flyweight.
Harry?
I'll go on Josh.
I'm the only
Because-
Fading us.
one. I'm the
Yeah.
only one.
Do you have anybody else? You got 3 locks right now. Do you have anybody else you want to throw on? I was thinking about Carpenter because we all took him for the first fight.
I was gonna say Bueno Silva,
Bueno Silva's another good one. Yeah.
just
Is
because.
that who you're taking?
Yeah,
That's another really
just
good one,
because I
too.
don't know the other chick.
Lena Landsberg's 40 years old in that fight. I need to make 2 more. Oh, shit. I might take Bueno Silva and Carpenter. But I like Pogs, too. But he could get gas. All right, I'm going to take Bueno Silva and Carpenter.
oh,
All right, another event picks in the books. Anything you guys think that you might want to reconsider, or are we all good with our picks here?
I'm good.
I think that
Full send.
what's the one that had the huge weight discrepancy? Was it Fletcher and Garimbo? I think that one I'm like still
Inch,
wary
10
about.
inches.
Yeah, 10-incher.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I'm really interested in.
Yeah, that
And
is
the,
super interesting.
What is Fletcher's? Because I know I have him here and I know I've seen him before.
Did I choose Fletcher?
Fletcher, yes. Fletcher is 1-1 in the UFC. He lost to Matthew Semmelsberger.
Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that guy?
Semmelsberger has a decent record. He beat Fletcher. He beat Jake Matthews. He lost to Alex Morano and Chaos Williams. It's not bad. I'm gonna stick with. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm gonna switch to Garimbo because, like you said, the bookie influenced my answer because he's minus 270.
Me? You're influencing yourself.
No, I'm saying that's what you.
Ah.
So I'm gonna
humbug.
take Garimbo. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be with Harry here. We're gonna ride this shit together. Me and Harry.
You're
No,
gonna lose.
Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna
You're
do it.
gonna lose.
All right, that's it for UFC Vegas 69. Again, one of the weaker cards of the year. These last 2 fight nights have not been spectacular, although the February 4th one was better because you had Spivak and Lewis. You had Marcin Tybura and Ivanov. And there's no real, the Andrade versus Blanchfield fight is a great fight. But other than that, there's really nothing else. I wish Cheeto Vera and Sandhagen was still on this card.
Yeah.
That'd been so
This
great.
card sucks. Oh, who said that?
What was that?
Yummy.
All right. I think that's going to do it. Unless you guys... I did title this podcast Jon Jones versus the World Part 2. Because I figured we might get into some Jon Jones talk. But I should have titled it Makhachev is a dirty, filthy cheater. That's what I should have titled it as. And Ali Abdelaziz is the stupidest Twitter person ever for tweeting that shit.
Talk about not thinking at all. So stupid.
How do you not know the rule? Abdelaziz manages 30 people in the UFC. How do you not know that rule?
Why would you even want to comment on this if you're part of Islam crew?
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't say anything about it at all. Why? Because once you start acknowledging it, then it looks a little suspicious, right?
Mhm.
Because now it's like, well, why are you making it such a
Self-incriminating.
why are you making it so prominent that you're like, oh, we didn't do that, and this is the why we didn't do this, and these are the rules, blah blah blah. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
So it's the hype up for Islam Makhachev. So if he gets suspended for a year and a half, people are hyped for when he comes back. It's total marketing. Total marketing.
I wonder if there will be stricter.
It's marketing.
I wonder if there will be stricter eyes on Makhachev for his next fight. You know what I mean? I wonder if he comes in gassed for his next
More
fight
people are gonna
because
watch
he
it
can't
now.
IV it.
More people are gonna watch him. Congratulations.
All right, that's gonna do it. Thank everybody for tuning in. We will be back. I would love to start doing Sunday spaces because I think the Sunday podcast we did last week actually did very well, like right after the event.
Okay.
Fine.
But like if we can't, I don't know. I would like to start doing that stuff. I guess this event is like not a great one to do it for really because no one's gonna kind of give a fuck. But we can talk about whatever happens on Josh Blanchfield, and we can talk about Jon Jones because we haven't talked about Jon Jones. We talked about him a fuck ton over the last year, but we haven't really talked about this matchup as much as I guess we could have over the last couple
What are
weeks
you gonna do the spaces on?
The Spaces count. I think that
On
would
that
make
one?
sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got like 14 followers
Right.
compared to almost
yeah.
1,000.
Yeah.
Well, make
Big
do with
deal.
what we got. Like that's
No,
what
yeah,
we
that's
do.
what I was doing this morning.
Yeah.
I started following people with the other Twitter.
So I think that's what we got to do.
Woo.
Make sure you guys are paying attention because once we get the Twitter back, we will be tweeting back again so we can get back into the rhythm. And that's pretty much it. UFC Vegas 69 this weekend. Jon Jones in 16 days. 16 days. That's it. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you again next week, Wednesday and Thursday. And one more time, because I fucking get it wrong. Steve, send it out.